have that conversation. He needs to take a proactive approach to getting you off, whether it's toys or extension pills on your
What?
what extension pills.
I mean, it sounds like you have experience. Do you know what an extension pill is?
If I had experience, I think I would know the name of it.
I don't know. Maybe you're just like drawing a blank.
You're right. You're right. Ask me later.
And welcome back to Give It To Me Straight. I'm Alex.
And I am John.
And we're
your gracious host.
One day we'll put that on a t-shirt.
Alex said I need more energy. More passion, more energy, more passion.
Remember? More footwork.
More footwork. More
I
footwork.
can't do footwork. Otherwise, I'd kick Kobe. He's so cute. Speaking of his footwork, he likes to do footwork in our backyard and stain the carpets in our house.
Yeah, I don't love that. So we have, is it black mulch? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
If you have pets, don't get black mulch. And the reason I say that is because it's staining Kobe's paws.
You know what people do though? They probably have normal dogs who just pee where they should.
No, that's common. What he's doing is actually common because I'm seeing it all over Instagram.
He's so
basically,
dramatic.
if you have a dog that, like, after they use the bathroom, they kick up the mulch or the grass or whatever, it's a cocky, arrogant dog trait, apparently.
Dominant.
And he's like spreading his scent everywhere. He wants to get it between his like glands and his paws.
He's just like, he's too old to be acting a fool at this point.
No
like,
alpha dog, you'll get smoked.
No, exactly. But this is why we can't bring him to dog parks because our vet, because I was like, what's wrong with Kobe? Every time we bring him to a dog park, he gets assaulted. And he was like, it might be his stance.
I don't think it's his tail. I think it's how he's asserting himself. He throws his butt into people. I think that's like a playful
people.
thing.
You mean dogs?
Dogs. He throws it into me too. He just like bumps into you.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyways, yeah, so that's annoying because then he runs in the house and then he just stains our rug. I'm not going to clean the rug every single time. I don't know what to do. So,
I mean, we had that like fleshlight thing that you shove his paw into.
Oh, yeah.
But those get so dirty and then
He
their
hates
paws are
it.
soaked and he hated that.
I want like just like a wet stomp pad.
I don't know that that would work either. Like, what's a solution to cleaning your dog's paws? Someone had
Something
messaged-
that's easy because especially for dogs who don't like their paws touched, which is Kobe.
I mean, he's fine if you just wipe them down.
He hates it. Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
he does it for me. You never do it. Yeah, I do.
I mean, I'm a little annoyed you didn't let him out last night before you went to bed.
John, he's the one who puts himself to bed. I'm not gonna.
Cool. So Alex doesn't put him out. So then it's 4:30 in the morning and he's pacing back and forth, back and forth.
Wait
I'm
a
like,
minute.
you got to go out. So then I had to put him on a leash to go out because I didn't want him kicking all the mulch up. And I'm in the dark trying to like clean his feet. So I'm just walking him outside.
Okay, cool. Did you see? I don't know if I sent it to you. Did you see this TikTok of this woman who was going to throw out her trash, and she lives in Georgia in like the swampland, and she literally has to take a canoe from her house, put her trash on there, and then take a ATV to the dumpster. It's like this entire process because she has to get out of where it's a flooded land. And so she sticks her little chihuahua in her, they're called gator somethings where you like put on.
Yeah. Is she walking through the swamp?
She walks through the swamp with her
What about
dog.
alligators?
And someone was like, are you using your dog as bait? And she was like, no, my dog has to go out to pee. So then after I saw that, I was like, I will never complain again.
Does she get paid to live there? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who would willingly live there, but I was like, good for her. And she only took out like 2 bags of trash. I was like, I would wait until I had at least 20 bags of trash before I left the house.
I want to bring up something because I need to defend myself because I feel like I was getting attacked in the comments. I'm not trying to victim blame.
John.
I'm not trying to victim blame the woman for going to the guy's hotel room. Totally on the guy. No one should fucking be put in that position either way. That guy's a fuckhead. All I'm saying is there is some sort of line of common sense, whether it was a male or female. I guess if that's victim blaming, the common sense part, we're like, I just don't think you should go to someone's hotel room.
Victim blaming is turning it around on like, well, what were you wearing? What were you doing?
That's more saying
that's
like,
kind of like what you were saying. Like, you should be smarter than that. And it's like,
I would say the same thing about a guy going to a women's, like, it's common sense. Why would you go to someone's hotel room?
We need to start flipping the narrative and be like, why are there shitty men doing these things? And there's shitty women too, but like the majority are shitty men. Why are you
I don't think my point's getting across. I'm saying it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate for that person either way to go to someone's hotel room when you're in a relationship.
Okay, we're like going so.
But
like,
I'm basing it off that. If you're in a relationship, like you shouldn't be going to the hotel room. I just like don't think that's appropriate.
The hotel room again. I don't want like we got it, John. You
well,
know.
some chick was like ripping into me, and I'm like, you know what? Hold on, because do you know all the facts too? No, and I'm not trying to blame the person, but you know what I'm saying. Do you not agree with me? Like, it's just not appropriate either way to do it.
I get what you're saying.
I'm not talking about the situation.
That's if it was to go to his hotel room.
I
don't think that was. I think she was meeting him like at the hotel bar, but whatever.
That's different.
Either way, it just like you don't need to put the blame on her.
Right, well, everyone that's like getting in my ass about it, I needed to.
Well, because it's the narrative about it. It's like he is the person in power.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
So she's not going to assume. It's like. He has to be the one held accountable, not her.
Yes, he 100% does. But you could still have some sort of like common sense not to do that.
But that's like saying if someone was walking on the street in the dark and then they got snatched or something happened to him, it's like, your common sense. Why were you walking in the dark on the street?
No, I don't compare the two. I'm saying
why were you running alone? Why were you doing this? And
I'm saying an appropriate thing. Like if you're in a relationship, you should not be going to someone else's hotel room. If that's the narrative, going out at night, like it's a free country. You should be able to do whatever you want. That I would never come at someone for that.
Correct.
It's not the same thing.
But in this question, her boss knew that she had a husband, and so she didn't assume that anything nefarious was going to happen.
I don't care about the La La Land part of like, you know, it doesn't matter. Your moral compass, you should know that you shouldn't be going to the opposite sex hotel room. Either way, like if it's you and me and you went to your boss's hotel room, I don't care if I like him or not, or he's not
for 10 plus years.
I don't care. I would be pissed at you. I'd be like, that's inappropriate. Why the fuck would you do that? And I'd be mad at you for doing that. Besides that situation aside, like, I don't like that.
I know. I agree.
Would you appreciate if I went to my female boss's hotel room?
If it was the hotel room, no. But
Thank
again,
you.
I'd be like,
in case.
But what are you going for? I don't like. This is supposed to be intros, John.
Can
you relax?
I win.
This is annoying that we're supposed to be talking about our week, what's been going on.
I feel good. I feel good that I just won that.
Wow, I need to justify the shitty thing that I said.
It's not just shitty thing I said because I'm not going off of that. I'm going to lose my mind.
John,
all right, I'll say something else.
We know that you're not victim blaming.
Anyway, let me say some funny stuff.
We celebrated my birthday. I ate so much cake. Happy birthday to me. And you got me actually, your present really was thoughtful. It really was. So I
was thinking about the notebook, you know?
Thank you. And it's nice because it's like I can paint a view at our house.
So I got Alex an easel,
some paints, some canvases. Because I've always enjoyed painting, but I always just do it on the floor or like lean it up outside. I've never actually had like a good setup for it. It's just, and I don't do it often, but when I do it, I'm like, this is so enjoyable. I love to paint. My sister's an artist, and so you reached out to her, and you're like, what do I need to get? And so I'm excited to
I
just
can't wait
set it
to
up
lie naked on the couch and you paint me.
Oh my gosh, we should do that. That would be fun.
It's just upsetting to me how talented you are. Then I just have no... Like, couldn't I have just been sprinkled a little bit with some talent?
Everyone has their strengths.
I'm just saying, you can paint.
A creative person, but you are a very task-oriented person, and that's not me. Like, if I didn't have you, I would get nothing done.
I want to be a pro at something, though, you know? Like pickleball.
Do it. You could do anything you set your mind to. And I feel like, have you even tried to paint?
Jousting.
Have you even tried to paint or do anything creative? Like, I think that is your self-limiting belief for you, because you're like, I'm not creative, but you just haven't tapped into your...
Sorry, I don't know why I'm calling you bae. I don't normally say that.
You haven't tapped into your creativity.
Ow.
Okay, enough. Like enough.
What?
You just keep cutting me off. I'm trying to talk, and you're like having this own conversation with yourself.
Go ahead.
You have this self-limiting belief that you're not creative, but it's just because you haven't tapped into it.
Whatever. I don't Doesn't matter. But you're saying I never painted, which we did. We always did wine and design, and I painted.
Okay, but at
I
paint
painted
nights,
that fucking
at wine and
vase.
design, number one, we're halfway to blackout. Number two, those paintings are not meant to go on your walls. Like they're not. They're like of rainbows and flowers.
I think I put my toucan
You're
on the
right,
wall.
because when I did
My
start
dad's
dating
got the
you,
martini glass on the wall.
when I did start dating you, I did go over to your house, and the only art was art that you and Goo had made at paint
the
nights.
two toucans or whatever.
I'm like, what the fuck is this?
He was so like proud of those two fucking New Orleans paintings he had.
well-
They were like this big. And he goes, "This is a famous painting."
Well, that was actually art, but the wine and design, I could only imagine, because the paint that we did on like one of our date nights where you were like, sign your last name. I was like, you're
He
creepy.
trashed that, yeah.
But it was an ugly sunset. It was not anything that I would display in my home. I feel like you could.
Everyone's
do something nice.
level of what's good is different, and I thought I did really good. I put a lot of heart and effort into it.
You know what we should do though one night
Pottery class.
is that, which I am doing with my sister, but we should do where we paint each other.
Anytime I see a trend with a bunch of
We
people
don't
doing
have to
something,
film it. I just think it'd be
I don't
funny
wanna
to do it. It'd be a funny date night to do. We don't have to film it.
Fine.
I just
I would
think
love
it'd-
to.
Yeah, it would be interested to see. Also, another thing that we're doing recently is, have you guys seen the show Fallout?
Very good.
So good. I feel like one of the better shows that I've seen in a really long time.
I would love to be on that show. I'll be a ghoul or whatever. Shoot me, whatever it has to be. I want in. It's an awesome show. Actors are amazing.
Are you gonna audition?
Sure.
Let me see. Give me your best.
What?
Your best audition for it right now, John.
A ghoul?
No, me.
And then he shoots me in the head.
That's not how ghouls behave in the
Some
show.
of them, some of them that are like turning, they freak out.
Well, those are more like zombies.
I have funnier stuff to talk about, by the way.
Okay, then talk about
Mine's
it.
better because okay, let me tell you. I forgot to tell you what the doctor said about me during during my physical.
Our shared PCP, our shared primary care.
Our shared doctor.
Oh my gosh. Well, you had one experience with her and I had a completely different experience with her.
She was so
So
thorough.
nice.
A really nice lady. Normally your physical is not that much like
It's not
test.
that involved.
She like strapped a EKG thing to test my heart rate and all this, and then like made me take my shirt off, and she did like a skin scan on me. I'm like, wow, this is intense. But then I told her, because I remember, like I've told you guys in the past, I got a colonoscopy, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, good. Because if you didn't, she was going to stick her finger in my ass.
She
I was
said
like,
she
what?
would get a stool sample. She asked me, she was like, do you want me to take a stool sample today? And I was like, no, thank you. I've been poked and prodded enough the past few months and weeks. I'm good.
Wait, she wanted a stool sample from, was she going to make you like shit or stick her finger in?
I don't know how she was going to gather it.
She was sticking her finger in me.
She was going to, or she
was
did?
going to. I'm like, what up?
I think she would have delivered my baby if I asked her.
So super
So
nice.
she didn't make you strip down naked, because I was butt naked.
Well, she was like, you could probably check your
She was
testicles
like, you
better
should
than I
take
can.
your shirt off right now.
I did that.
Of course. Of course
I mean,
she asked.
what was so, she's checking my body and whatever. And then she's like going around my neck. And she asked me about my dad and like his breathing and stuff. I was like, yeah, well, my dad's like on a CPAP, because for breathing at night. She goes, well, just, she's trying to be nice about it. She goes, well, if you gain weight, you're probably going to be susceptible to like, breathing problems. And I'm like, why? She goes, well, your neck's kind of like shorter, and it's a little wider. I'm like, is she saying I had a fat neck?
I feel so justified, because I've been saying that to you all along. I'm like, your neck is so thick, and you're like, my neck is normal.
She's
I have a
literally like,
normal
if you
neck.
gain weight, you're not going to
And
breathe.
the fact that now we have a board certified doctor who's telling you, yeah, you got a thick neck. I'm like, I'm justified. I knew it.
So basically she's saying don't gain any weight. So there's that.
What are you going to do? Because your dad bod is coming on pretty strong.
I know. That's the other thing.
John looks at me the other day. He goes, we got to stop this. I need my partner in crime back. I was like, I can't. Like,
I never used to eat sweets.
I'm not allowed to work out. And so
we're housing cake cookies. And I'm on board with it now. And I never used to eat that stuff.
It's also like, it was just my birthday, you know?
It's always going to be something though, you know?
You can also lift though. Like you could go to the gym. I have my yoga that I'm allowed to do and my short walks around the block. Like I'm the one who's
You're thriving.
You're
killing it. I'm proud of you.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I did hear though.
If you see me on Peloton doing a hit ride, it wasn't me.
Someone checked me on this. Fun fact: I did hear that dads, like when during the whole pregnancy thing, they actually gain weight, some sort of chemical thing to like prepare for the baby.
Do you think it's a chemical thing, or do you think it's just because like I'm going for an extra snack and you're like, get me one too?
I mean, I definitely think that, but maybe there is something, or maybe it's just like a study that did.
You know what I do think it is though? It's because pre-pregnancy, we would have like a glass of wine or like, you know, different meals at the end of the night. But it's like now I'm replacing it with treats and like I am eating more, like I'm definitely more hungry. So you're eating additional snacks and meals with me, but you're also still like having.
Once in a while. I mean, not as
like
much.
A cocktail or two is still like 500 calories.
Which
so
is
like,
once in a while that like I'm still, even before like when we were doing it, but I get it, it's the sugar.
Yeah, on
You're
top
replacing
of
it.
the additional treats that,
Right.
You know, it's fine. We'll cut after. We'll go on like a really nice trim sesh after.
Right. I wanted to bring up something else about a lot of comments I saw talking about you being high risk because you're 35.
Oh my God, I know. People were like, Alex, relax. It's okay. Everyone above the age of 35 is high risk. I'm like, okay, number one.
Who said you were 35?
That's not the news that we received. However, I know a lot of women who have had pregnancies above the age of 35 and they never got the news that they were high risk. I know that you're considered a geriatric pregnancy, but I'm 30. I just turned 32.
I was just wondering, is it like a pool of people just got together and like, we think Alex is 35.
And we're going to tell her that her news is invalid because she's just old. That's what it is. I'm like, I wish that's what I was crying about, is that I'm 35 and having a baby. But anyways.
I just thought that was hilarious.
I also thought it was interesting that a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I could see Alex as a boy mom, because I never could see myself as...
I could, 100%.
No, I think it's because I grew up as a dancer that I always envisioned having
You grew up
little
as a tomboy.
girls.
What are you talking about?
But I was always a competitive dancer.
Football player.
Oh my gosh. John, just because I could beat you up doesn't mean that I'm a tomboy.
You used to tell me all the time you were a tomboy and that like you were like, I didn't want to play with the girls. I wanted to play football with the boys.
No, I danced my whole life. I didn't like the monkey bars because I didn't have upper body strength. So I just wouldn't hang out on the monkey bars. But I just always envisioned like having a little ballerina.
But you're not like a prissy girl. You're like, you get in there. You get in the dirt. You to the grind.
I just feel like boy moms, though, get such a bad rap, at least on social media, because there's like toxic, I don't want to say toxic love, but like a toxic obsession that there's some boy moms have with their sons where they're like, no woman will ever be good enough for my son.
Okay, well, that's
and
fucking
I'm like,
weird.
I can't wait already to have a daughter-in-law. But I mean, I think either way, we're going to be great parents to no matter what our child was going to be. But it's just funny because people are like, I got boy mom energy from you. And I'm like, really? I like girly things. Although my nails aren't done now.
I mean, it's literally boy or girl. Like half the people said you were a girl mom. You know, it's like.
Right. True.
There's not many other options to choose from. So.
For now,
50-50.
Who knows? Maybe in 18 years there will be more options.
You never know.
You never know. Any other updates you want to talk about? Like your birthday's coming up. What do you want? What do you really want to do?
Well, we're
for your
in
birthday?
Disney for my birthday, so
we're excited. Well, I'm excited for that because we're taking my brother and sister-in-law and my niece and nephew. I tortured John last year by bringing him because I wanted to go to Harry Potter for my birthday last year. So you came and I was like, okay, we're done. We did Disney. We'll never have to do it again. And then just so happens we have the opportunity to go again. So sorry, John. Happy birthday. We're going to Disney.
So we're going to Disney. Can't wait to paint my face again.
However, I do think we should pack a lot of
alcohol for
ass spray.
Oh, yeah.
Because the chafing there, I'm sure. Didn't you chafe last year?
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to detour away from the group.
Why?
And I'm going to go to
Find a bar.
find a bar. I'm going to do the country thing.
That's really
That everyone
inconsiderate
does.
of you, John. Like,
I did my part in this.
We're gonna
hang out, but you're going to hang out with another pregnant wife and then your family. And then I'm going to take your dad because we know what he wants to do. And we're going to go and your brother. And, oh wait, your mom's going. So you can do like the girls thing and the guys can go and we'll split off a little bit. Though I don't know how much. Does your brother love
You're just gonna
Disney?
leave the kids with us. Like, how about you guys take the kids to the bar around the world? We'll find you in Mexico, and we're just gonna go to the spa.
We might have to. So none of us go to the park.
I know Mexico in Epcot, like the country of Mexico.
Oh, right.
Maybe I'll find you in Germany.
No, that'll be cool. So we do that. The only other thing I want to talk about, and then we could jump into questions because I had a note about this. There's a big convo about tips, like the tipping culture and all that last episode. I feel like one other tipping culture thing I want to talk about, and I want to know if I'm right or wrong, is in New York, the gas pumps. I want to pump my own gas, and there's certain places where you can't. I know we've talked about it before, but they go and the gas attendants pump your gas for you. And I'm like, do I have to tip every time, like for the gas pump? I really because I want to do it myself, and it's annoying when I get out of the car and they like run over to pump it.
Jersey is a state where you actually can't pump your own gas. They would probably be the people to ask because I think there's only certain towns in New York where you can't do it, or like they just jump ahead and they do it for you. But maybe people from Jersey can weigh in. I don't know what other states you're not legally allowed to pump your own
makes
gas.
me uncomfortable going to the gas.
Well, also, how do people really have cash on them? Because it's not like there's a tip option on the gas.
We know New York is such a cash heavy state for anything. Tipping, when I went
some restaurants are still only cash only. I'm like, how's this legal?
That's crazy. Well, the barber shop I go to, it was like tipping cash. I was like, shit. Like,
well, a lot of places are tipping cash because they don't want to claim it, but a lot of restaurants are just cash only here.
That's the one thing I loved about North Carolina. Like, at least Raleigh, it was so like modern with its like technology. You could split a bill 15 ways. Yeah, you know, and I don't think I had cash on me for like the whole time we were there.
I wonder how much cash we do need to keep cash on us for tips, but yeah, I don't know when it comes to
I never keep cash on me ever.
When it comes to pumping your gas. I don't know. Someone weigh in. I have no idea.
Cool. Anyways, that was a lot. Good for us.
Let's jump into questions, shall we?
Let's do it.
Before we jump into questions, we want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. As John once said, when life gives you lemons, sometimes those lemons hit you in the face. And that's not fun. We all go through stressful times. Some seasons are harder than others. But when we keep them bottled up, it could really start to have a negative effect on us. Therapy is a judgment-free zone to get things off of your chest and work through what's getting you down. It's no secret that I love therapy. It's given me a useful toolbox of skills to set boundaries, deal with difficult times in relationships, and overall, just be a better version of myself. Wouldn't you agree, John? I'm literally a better version of myself.
She needs therapy.
No, I'm a great version of myself, okay? If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online, and it's designed to be convenient for you and your schedule. All that you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And if you're not vibing with your therapist, which is super important to do, you could switch at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/straight today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/straight. Let's dive in. To this day, I've never had an orgasm with my soon-to-be husband. Me and my fiance are high school sweethearts in our 30s and are set to get married in June. I came close to having one multiple times, but I never seem to get there during sex. Am I missing out on the ultimate pleasure moment? I've had orgasms and know the feeling, but I don't know how to even begin bringing this up. I only ever had one more experience having sex with someone else when we were broken up for a while, but it was rather disappointing. Shall I act on this while I have the time? Also, he knows that I do not climax, but he does nothing about it.
Yeah, you're missing out. I can only speak towards guy ejaculation. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Right, but like for a guy, because for a female, it is different doing it on your own versus when it's body to body. Is it different for you?
Yeah, it feels different. Why are we such children? Yeah, I mean, you should experience that. What if you die and you never had an orgasm? You know?
I guess you don't know what you don't know, but the one thing though that annoys me here is that your husband knows that you don't climax and he's doing nothing about it. Like the thoughtfulness is part of coming to an orgasm. It's him waiting until you're there, figuring out what positions you like. I don't like that he's just like, oh, well, sounds like your problem. Handle it on your own.
Yeah, have that conversation. He needs to take a proactive approach to getting you off, whether it's toys or extension pills on your
What?
what? Extension pills. What is it like to like prolong your climax? There's like, isn't there something for that? I'm pretty sure there's something for that.
Again, someone weigh in.
Somebody weigh in.
I mean, it sounds like you have experience. Do you know what an extension pill is?
If I had experience, I think I would know the name of it.
I don't know. Maybe you're just like drawing a blank.
You're right. You're right. Ask me later. No, I'm pretty sure there's something like that. Well, I'm not talking about Viagra. That's different. It's just
Like to
keeping
keep
your
a heart
erection.
on.
No.
Like so that you can
No.
keep going. Like a porn star.
No.
Like someone to continue to fuck.
No. Not Viagra. That's just to keep an erection, which is probably fine if that will do the job for you. But I
Right.
think there's something to help. Dude, I might be making this up. I actually have no idea. Why do I think there's some sort of pill to keep you from, to help you prevent like ejaculating?
Get there or don't.
Ejaculate.
All right.
I'm pretty sure there's something.
I think it's more just like a mind thing. You just have to.
Oh, are you a dude?
Yeah, you just have to think about something like your grandma.
I'll nut even faster. Just kidding.
Wow, John. This is getting weird. Anyway, I think that you are missing out. I don't know that I would marry someone if they couldn't make me orgasm, honestly. And that's just my personal preference. But I do think you owe it to yourself to get there with your husband. Or at least like if you're still going to get married to him, you have time. Like try to figure it out. Figure out what you like and then have him work on that.
I feel like I gave really good advice there.
I think you gave the worst advice.
No.
You literally just said that you would come even faster thinking about your grandma. So I'm going to move on to the next question. My partner works remotely for months at a time. During these periods, we're long distance. I've sent him a few sexy pictures that were all posed and I put a fair bit of effort into. He has also sent me some photos and videos, but it's more like dick pics and masturbating. It just doesn't do it for me. I love my partner and I find him so sexy. I'm worried about telling him and making him insecure, which isn't my intention at all. And if he's gonna send me something, I'd love some posed photos that show off his bod. What should I do?
Tom, what?
Kind of similar to the last question. It's like, yeah, you have to let them know what you want out of something. Like if you're not gaining a positive experience or pleasure from what this other person is doing, you have to let them know.
I know this podcast is all about giving advice. Literally the only advice we ever give is like, just fucking
Communicate.
talk to your partner. Dude, you guys, people like write out these long ass questions. Like, let me break down all this stuff. And it's like, did you tell them? Did you have the conversation?
We could
Holy
answer
shit.
every question with just communication. You left me hanging
I don't
there,
feel like
John.
singing right now. I'm just like,
but yeah,
are we like really good at giving information, or is it just like really, really obvious?
I think some of them are really obvious. I don't think we're anyone special. That's
Like,
why we say it's mediocre
Do we
advice.
even have to break this question down? Just like,
Well, I think she just doesn't want him to feel bad about sending videos of him jerking off. You know, like, I will say
this is it.
no, but I will say I've never gotten a dick pic from you, unfortunately.
Never again.
Never again. I never got one. You ruined it
I did. I know.
before we were even together. So I will say though, with people who I was with in the past, this was the type of content that they would send me as well. If I would send like a hot pic, they'd be like, here's my hard dick. I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Who are you going to talk to about it? You and your group of guy friends are like, I sent this solid.
Hammer. But I don't want to see you stroking your dick and then.
Well, even a photo, like you got it just like.
I think it's similar to like leave a little bit of mystery. Like you could be naked, wear a towel. I want to see like that deep V line in.
So you're saying no PP
Yeah,
photos.
No pee photos. No.
Interesting.
I don't care to see
The actual.
that. Yeah. Like I like it when it's inside of me, but I don't need to look at it.
Got it. Got it.
And to each their own. That's just my preference. But how is your partner supposed to know if you don't say, hey, I would love this from you?
I think he should send a picture of his tarantula hole.
If I got that from you, I would literally think I was looking at War of the Worlds. I'd be like, someone bring me a sword. Is this the intro to Jungle Cruise?
Just like hacking away.
Speaking of Jungle Cruise, we're going to have to like make reservations to get on all these rides. Like, what am I allowed to go on in Disney? I don't even know.
I'm going to find a pool. Hopefully a
I know,
lazy
you're
river.
not going to go on any of the rides. Next question. I like how we also talk about like masturbating and fucking and then straight to like, I can't wait to go on the teacups.
I think we're so desensitized to everything. Like, do we need to reel it in?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care.
YouTube might demonetize us for our conversations, but
Take the 50 cents. What?
next question. My friend and I were supposed to go to a nice dinner at a restaurant that was hard to get a reservation for, but I managed to get one. She then told me a few days before she couldn't make it because she had to go home for a funeral, which I was totally fine with. But then I saw her post that she was at dinner and a musical with another friend. Do I confront her about it or just pretend nothing happened and try again to make dinner plans with her?
Did she actually go to a funeral? Did she actually go to the funeral?
Okay, my advice is she canceled plans, so she's the one who could remake them. In this situation, I'm like, who's to say that she didn't go to the funeral, didn't post there, and then she also went to a musical and dinner with her friend? Who cares?
I think it's null and voided if she actually did the event that she said she was going to, unless it's in the same town. Like you had the funeral and then like you had all this free time afterwards, which is when you could have gone to the. Hold on, say the funeral's during the day. You have reservations at like 7 at night. She's free during that time. It's in the same town, but she went to hang out with somebody else.
She went home, so I'm assuming home is in a different town.
Oh, then no, you can't. I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
What, you think she's gonna drive all the way back?
And not just that. No, I think she's more annoyed that like, she potentially maybe didn't go to this funeral. It was an excuse, but she went to dinner and a musical with a different friend. To me, I'm just like, sometimes things happen, like plans, something happens, I have a doctor's appointment and I have to cancel plans. And then afterwards, because I canceled plans with that, like I'm going to do something else. I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, is so-and-so going to worry that I also live your life? If this was not, she didn't intentionally cancel on you to be a bad friend. And if she did, you'll find that out eventually. But you just got to assume, you can't assume the worst of people.
I wouldn't dive deep into it and get petty with it.
I would wait for her though to try to make plans again, since she's the one that canceled.
Maybe next time you talk, just be like, hey, how was the funeral?
Yeah, and the musical and dinner.
No, be like, how much is this person a liar?
I don't think she lied. I think she probably went to the funeral and did multiple things.
Yeah,
life happens. Just
roll with it.
Let her come to you.
Yeah.
I think that's the rule, though. Like, if you're the one who cancels plans, you have to be the one to make them the next time. Would you agree?
I don't care. Honestly, this is not a big deal to me.
Next question. I recently bumped into an acquaintance of mine at a bar with another woman who was not his wife. He had his hands on her and they definitely kissed at one point. He came over to me later and told me that he and his wife had split and they were living in different states now. 2 days later, he and his wife announced on Facebook that they were pregnant with their second child.
Shocked. So shocked.
Is it my place to tell his wife what I saw and possibly ruin their seemingly happy marriage? Or do I mind my own business and let things naturally take its course?
Now, these are the kind of questions that are different than just saying something.
Right. I mean, communication here, how?
I think it always goes down to, okay, let's brass tacks here. We got to break this down. Pros and cons.
What did you just say?
Brass tacks.
What's that? Brass tacks?
Let's get down to basics,
I've never heard that.
Maybe that's what I'm pretty sure that's what it means.
Maybe, I don't know.
But like breaking down, so her friend is the woman, not the guy.
I think she's probably friends with the couple. It sounds like she's wrote, or whoever
Whatever.
wrote
I
in,
think you just
wrote,
need
I
to-
bumped into an acquaintance of mine at a bar.
If it's just an acquaintance, no, I wouldn't say shit. But like, break down everything. What is your relationship? Who's your relationship with? Pros and cons of doing either one.
I almost don't know though, because even if an acquaintance who wasn't close with us,
If it's just an acquaintance, I probably wouldn't say anything because it's not my place to insert myself. But if it's like a good friend of mine, like I would have a hard time like keeping that in. Like I think that would affect me.
what I'm saying though is that even if it was an acquaintance who ran into, let's say, you at a bar, saw you with another woman, and then like found out that like, you know, we are actually together, I would want to know. And so it's like part of me is like on the outsider looking in. I'm like, oh my God, stay out of it. Let it run its course. But if I'm the woman, if I'm the wife, I would want to know. I wouldn't care. And at least like if you're not that close, it's almost like you could just like let them know and then be like, whatever, this is what I saw. Like, I don't know what your relationship dynamic is, but I would want to know. Take it as you will. But you have to know that they might not respond to that great. But that's not also your place. Doesn't matter. You just like saw what you saw. I don't know. These situations.
I would love,
like,
you know, however we answer this, there's someone in our comments who like religiously watches our videos. Cause I've gotten this before where we'll answer something and they'll be like, episode 35, this is how they respond.
We're hypocrites. We changed. It depends on the day.
We have so many questions like this and it's just like, it's so difficult.
It is true. It really just depends on the day of how I'm feeling. But today I'm feeling like if I was the wife, I would want to know. And so, and I could do that information. I could do with that information whatever I want. How do I say that? I don't fucking know. Do with that information as I will. But I think, I don't know. But then if I saw it, would I say something? Like, would I actually have the balls to DM someone and be like, hey, BT Dubs, I saw your husband smooching on some chick in the bar.
If you wrote BT Dub in a text message about something drastic, I would be so pissed at you. BT Dubs, LOL, just letting you know.
BT Dubs, I could be wrong, but your husband, I definitely saw him at a bar. Make out with someone.
I would base it off of your relationship with these people. For me, I'm like, do I really want to insert myself in this?
Think about if it was you.
Just prepare for the backlash.
Yeah, but what backlash can they really give other than like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. I'd be like,
this guy might try to kill me for wrecking his marriage.
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm blaming myself as the victim blaming that I'm putting myself in this situation. You just have to look at that kind of stuff. Be like, are you prepared for whatever backlash there is, or blowback, I'm sorry, for whatever your response is?
That is a Hallmark movie. Whistleblower tells the wife, the husband, I'm sure it's made already. Husband goes after the person.
Well, it's from Hallmark. I'm sure it has a happy ending.
No, Hallmark sometimes has.
They get dark?
Like true crime-ish vibes in there. Yeah. Cheesy true crime vibes, but.
Do you think Virgin River still has another season coming out?
I don't know. You didn't even watch the last season.
I need to get. Well, I'm waiting for like the right weather.
But it's similar like to that. That's
like when
very
it starts
Hallmark.
snowing out, we'll start watching Virgin River again.
Maybe during the fall when I'm like, you know, recovering.
If you guys have seen Virgin River, the opening shots with the drone, it's just like with the sun. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It just puts me in such a good mood. Virgin River.
You always say how you would want to live somewhere like that, but I know that you would want to punch yourself in the face after 1 week.
I mean, I definitely would be like
everyone
the beta male in that whole thing. Because I'd be like, can someone help me?
Can someone fix my fireplace?
I just chopped my finger off trying to cut wood.
I just feel like everyone in those small towns is up each other's ass and in each other's business. That you would be like
in Virgin River, yeah. They're like, did you hear what Bill did yesterday?
That's what I mean. It's like no one has privacy. There's so much drama going on.
No one has privacy, but everyone has 10 acres of land. But somehow they all know each other's shit.
And then the doctor is also the bartender. And the mailman, everyone has 18 jobs.
I found it so interesting that guy played the exact same role.
character.
And what other show was it?
I don't remember.
He was in Animal House, if you guys remember that movie. He's been in a bunch of stuff, but he's the Doc whatever in Virgin River. He plays the same exact character in a different show that I don't think lasted long, but it was very ironic. Anyways.
Nice little segue into the next question. My fiance and I are getting married in 6 months, and I recently had my makeup trial. I'm someone who never wears makeup, but I want to wear it for my wedding. I want a neutral look and have my makeup noticeable in photos, but also not over the top. I came home from the trial excited about how I looked, and I asked my fiance if he liked it. He flat out said no and told me he didn't think I looked pretty. He said it was too much and he just wanted me to wear mascara. I'm unsure if I should change my look because I liked it, but also I want my future husband to think I look pretty on our wedding day. Do I say fuck his opinion and do what I want, or try to find a compromise?
Let me go first. Okay, first off, you do whatever you want to do. It's your wedding day. Whatever makes you feel confident, do it. That being said, I wouldn't have been as hurtful as the husband was, but I will say, as a husband in the past, it is a shock when you see the amount of makeup that they put on your face. It is. It's almost like I dated somebody who was a news anchor, and the amount of makeup they put on her for the screen was like an ungodly amount. And you know what? Whatever makes you confident, that's cool. And I feel bad for saying that, but like I didn't recognize you with the amount that you had on your face.
But I had gotten a trial done and you were like, wow, that's a lot. And I said, I don't give a fuck. I look so good. And I knew that pictures, I was like, I look like I'm wearing a filter. Whereas when I do my everyday normal look, like I don't look as flawless as when they actually airbrush you, but you're not doing it for your husband to look at you. You're doing it for your pictures to look beautiful in 20 years from now. And if you felt beautiful, because I know I did when I got my makeup done and John said, that's too much. I said, I don't care.
I didn't say that's too much. I go,
wow. Yeah.
I go, do you?
Yeah.
Because that's all I could do. I'll never say don't do something.
But looking back at photos and videos, 100% worth it. Because I don't, again, you just look truly flawless. And then when you want it to last all day, like you want.
I mean, technically, Al, you had like, this was different than, like they didn't flush it into you.
I had a high neck line on. It was all flush. You're just making shit up because you're like, I need to justify the reason as to why I thought that you shouldn't have worn that makeup. It didn't actually look good.
I never said, again, you keep putting words in my mouth. I never said don't do it ever. You asked my opinion.
I didn't ask your opinion.
Yeah, you
should never ask your opinion.
Sure?
No, 100%.
Maybe I just didn't see you. You came in and I saw you and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Shut the fuck up.
It's not like I was warmed up to what was going on. I saw you and it was just like.
I had my trial. You knew what it was going to look.
Anything like yourself.
Yes, I did. Like I just looked like an enhanced version of myself. I think do what you want, and also like you're not going to look like that every day if you're confident. But that's the thing. You want to feel confident. If you feel like it's too much, then tell your makeup artist to tone it down a little bit and do something more natural to you. But if you felt confident, don't let your fiance tell you. They're always going to think it's going to be too much. Because then again, like they're going to look at Instagram and see Kim Kardashian or other influencers and be like, wow, their makeup is beautiful and natural. It's caked on. It's caked on. So I'm telling you, do what you want and what you think is going to look good in photos. Who cares? You're going to look like your natural self every other day.
Another thing about brides on wedding days and like, let's talk about hair. How many brides hate their hair when someone else does it? I just like thinking about that.
Well, I had like 4 hair trials until.
Didn't my sister hate hers? My sister hated her hair.
Did she?
Maybe the first time. I know she hated one of them.
First wedding?
Yeah. I just feel like a lot of people we've talked to like never like their hair done by someone else. And they.
Well, a lot of people don't like their makeup done by someone else. Or I think it just, when you're so used to the way that you look, you're very like, this is me. And then when you do your makeup and hair to go out, you're like, this is, my makeup look and my nice hair look. And so when it's done over the top, like whenever you get your makeup done by a professional or your hair done by a professional, it can be jarring because you're like, I've never seen myself like this before. But an outsider looking in, you're like, that person looks stunning. That person looks beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll do your makeup, John, if you really want to look beautiful. I think you were just jealous that I was flawless on my wedding day and you looked like you hadn't slept.
You were as tan as me on our wedding day.
I was. I did actually go tanning though too. I was like, spray tan me. I don't want to be a pasty ass bitch. Like right now I'm too pale for this. Should we move on?
Sure.
Next question. My boyfriend and I have been dating for almost 4 years now and living together for almost 2. We really love each other and I think both hope to move on to marriage and kids someday. I'm 28 and he's 30. We get along for the most part and have a lot of similar values, which is what drew me to him initially. But the problem is he plays video games every day. If it was up to him, he would be gaming nonstop morning to night. This is a huge red flag and a turnoff for me and has caused most of our major fights. I get upset that if I don't nag him to go out and do something, he has no problem sitting inside all day gaming or watching sports. I didn't know this was the case before we moved in. I thought maybe he would just game here and there. I'm worried that it seems like he doesn't have any other interest or desires to live life outside of gaming and watching sports. I find it hard to imagine my life with children, married to a man that just wants to stay inside every day and game. Am I the asshole for getting upset about this way of being? We've talked about this issue and he promises that he will change, but even when we go out to dinner or on a quick walk, it seems like he's just rushing to get through it to get back to gaming. This is such a turnoff and a problem for me. Help.
There's a difference between a hobby and an obsession. And it seems like an obsession is what's going on. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get out.
An addiction. It sounds like an addiction. Yeah. Addiction.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't fault someone for, if that's his hobby, like it's like he doesn't have any other interest, whatever. Like, who cares if that's just if that's what he likes to do, that's what he likes to do. But not taking time aside to spend time with you, rushing through hanging out with you, that's a terrible feeling.
Rushing through quality time with you. Because again, like everyone has their different interests in what they do during their me time. But to your point, this sounds like it's over excessive. And so, but what is your advice here? You know, it sounds like she's had a conversation and he hasn't changed. It's like,
I would, one thing that I'm thinking of is talk about your schedules. What are your schedules like? How like, what's your work schedule, at home schedule, and figure out a time where it's like, this time is slotted specifically for us, at least during the week, vacations, whatever aside, but this way you can focus on, and he knows his time frame. Whether it's like, does he play with his boys? Be like, I know that after 8:30 at night, I'm all yours, guys. I could play with you then for like an hour or two. And that way he knows the time, so he's not rushing through the time that he's spending with you. Mm-hmm. So I think scheduling, I know as shitty as it sounds, like he should want to spend time with me, but if that's what he loves to do, like, I'm not going to knock him for that, but it's too much. It is too much.
Well, when it's taking over
Yes.
your quality time together, or just it's the only thing that he seems to be doing, like, is he falling back on helping around the house, cooking dinner, all these other things? Because it sounds like you said this has caused most of your major fights. Is it like, obviously it's something to be addressed. So you've addressed it. I think you have to give him the opportunity to change his behavior for what would look like a...
Well, I think she already has tried and he's not done anything. So there needs to be a proactive approach from both of them. I think you've already had the convo.
I mean, this would be a deal breaker for me. If I was with someone who only spent their time playing video games or watching sports and like did not have other... And again, maybe if they had their slotted time towards the end of the night to do these things, sure. But if this was all consuming to them, where this was all that they could think about, they weren't helping me do things, they didn't want to make plans on the weekends, get out of the house, do other things. Because that's important to me, is to go out, do activities and other things together. This would be a deal breaker for me.
I know, and I agree with that, but more needs to be done besides just talking about it. Like, next step is like, why don't you both try to implement something together? Mm-hmm. That's going to work for both of you.
Schedule those things into your life. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Next question. My partner and I have lived in our home city for our entire relationship, 7 years. We both have work opportunities that could move us to a beautiful place where we have always wanted to live. But we have a huge group of friends here, our families, and most recently 2 nephews that we love to spend time with. However, having the chance to adventure off to somewhere new is exciting, and we've always wanted to. When we tell friends and families about our possible plans, it is sometimes met with excitement, sometimes not. And sometimes they just go on and on about how expensive it would be to live where we are hoping to move. We understand they don't want us to go, but we wish that they could be happy for us. You guys have moved many times, near and far from family. Did you experience this when you moved? How did you talk to your families about it and ultimately make the decision to go?
For me, it was different because my parents were like the first of their family to uproot and move to Virginia. And then like they've moved all over the place. So my mom travels like every 2 days for work to a different country or whatever. So like it was different for me. They always are like moving is growing kind of. Yours was different.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in my family have never left New York. And I think because I went away to college when I was 18 and hadn't been home since, it made it a little bit easier. But we did go home. We did move back to New York for like a 2 to 3 year time period. And then moving after that, I think was more difficult for them to hear that like we weren't going to be staying in New York forever. And then we ended up traveling for another like 5 or 6 years.
I think it was a little opposite though, because they're saying like, oh, it's really expensive to leave and go move somewhere. Because for us, we were living in New York, like we have to go somewhere because we can't afford to live here
In New York.
Yeah.
But then when we went to California, people were like, why? I think California was probably the move where people were more confused or not necessarily like excited or on board. But what has helped us with every move, because even no matter what move we made, we had people in those places who loved us and didn't want us to go. So it was a difficult conversation, whether it was leaving Raleigh, leaving New York, leaving Virginia, leaving LA. All of these places, people were bummed to hear that we're leaving and moving. But what made it easier for us was we decided what we wanted to do. And then we were grounded in that decision so that all these outside opinions didn't fucking matter.
Right.
So I think that that's what you have to do. You have to, and also if you're thinking now in this part of your life, should we not? When are you going to? Like now is the perfect time to do it. I'm not saying that you can't do it when you're in your 40s and 50s, but once you have kids, it's going to be a lot more difficult to uproot them and move them and change schools. You know, you want them to kind of have an established area. Of course, there are situations where people do have to move around for work and stuff, but I don't know. I think that if you guys don't have kids, now is the time in your life to travel and try something new.
If you guys are already thinking about it, I'm sure you want to do it. So like I would lean on those feelings because the ability for you to progress in work, because they said like they have good work opportunity.
Yeah,
too.
like their work would be able to bring them over
The
there.
feeling of what if, be like, wow, I could have maybe made more money or got that promotion or did something by moving. Like you don't want to be upset down the road if you don't do it, because you can always move back.
I was just going to say, you could always move back. I always answer from my future self. I go, would I regret it if I didn't?
Right.
Would I regret not making this decision? And if the answer is probably or yes, and I'm like, who cares? Let's do it. You know, if you could financially do it, do it. It'll be fun. If you hate it, move back.
Exactly. You can always move back. It's not a problem.
It's a bitch.
My one word of advice would be, I mean, we've made a little bit of money on each one of our homes, not much because we moved so quick. I would recommend renting. I would just go out there and feel it out first, because it is such a bitch to buy something first, do all this stuff, then have to sell it and whatever with your furniture.
And we've done that every time.
A nightmare. Just rent.
Yeah.
What's a year? Rent a year. And if you like it, then commit to something. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see the rates going down anytime soon anyways.
No.
So,
and that's true too. Like renting is not as permanent of a move. So I think, and if you guys already have a home in your home city, like maybe you could rent that out, whatever works for you guys financially. But if you're thinking about it, I think do it. Why the fuck not? You know, but you have to be on the same page about that. And then that way those other outside opinions, they don't matter.
get out of your comfort zone. I'm telling you right now, get out of your own way, get out of your comfort zone.
You won't regret it.
You won't regret it.
Next question. I dated my boyfriend for almost 3 years. Then we broke up for about 1.5 years. No big reason for the breakup, just needed some space and to work on our issues. After 1.5 years, we are now back together. But during that time, I had gotten close to someone else. I didn't foresee us getting back together, so I tried to move on. Well, during that small attempt to move on, I got pregnant and then I had an abortion. Do I tell my boyfriend about this, or do I start fresh as if he was someone new? We are not planning on having a family, so I don't think this will come up for any health or medical reasons, but it is kind of a big deal. For reference, we are in our 30s and we have had very serious talks about the future. So this is where I wonder what is worth sharing and what can be left in the past. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
I mean, when we talked about numbers, your body count, you know, and weren't we both like, you know, it's your, I don't think that's a conversation that needs to be discussed. Me personally, like, I don't want to know. I don't like, does your partner deserve to know everything about your past? Like, is it going to affect him? I don't think it's going to affect him. Dude, I don't know. That's tough.
In this type of situation, I could completely understand where this isn't information that if you made the choice to not share, I could completely understand your reasonings as to why. Personally, if this was me, I would have to share. I just think I don't think sharing your past partners matters because it's not now a part of like your story. But if this was something that I experienced, I know that this would impact me just like physically, mentally, or just like moving forward. Like it's not
Would
not
your
a big
future
deal.
self regret not telling him
Right.
during
And
that time?
yeah,
That the window was open to say something.
exactly. I just know that if this was us, I would tell you.
But I'd be telling because I just feel like I have to get something off my chest. Like I don't know where you stand on it. If that's something that affects you, like I can't keep anything inside, so I always have to say how I'm feeling. I don't. Other people are different.
But that's also because we were unsure about our future when it came to like starting children. And that is a question that they do ask when you are going to your checkups, your appointments. It's like, have you been pregnant before? Was it a miscarriage? Was it an abortion? You know, what was the reason? And so I just think that those conversations with your partner do come up naturally, or, you know, if you are going to start a family, if you don't think that you're going to start a family or this conversation will really ever come up, you know, it's really up to you. This is such a personal thing that like we can't be the ones to tell you that this is information that you need to share or not, because it's just not our experience, you know. But I just know myself, and I know that I would share.
I would too, and that's just me.
I don't think that there's a right or a wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong with whichever decision you decide.
So we didn't help you at all, probably, but best of luck.
I will say this. I think somehow, some way, it's going to come up. It's going to come out in some sort of conversation. You're probably better off addressing it on your own terms than it coming out on someone else's terms.
I think in these situations, if it's something that you feel on your heart that you should tell, then it's probably the right thing to tell. And again, not that there's like a right or a wrong, but like what is going to give you a sense of mental peace in your brain, because the fact that you're already having this question and debate of like, do I tell him? Do I not? What's, you know, what do I do?
You don't want it to eat at you either.
Right.
You know, that's not healthy for you, your mental health. So
Well,
best of luck with that one.
I feel like that's another saying that we need to get on a shirt is best of luck. Yeah.
Best of luck.
It's like to each their own. Best of luck. Those are
And
just our blankets.
dump his ass or whatever.
Dump his ass. Next question. While in the middle of renovations, I found an old plaque from my ex's family's winning racehorse. I reached out to my ex's sister and asked if she would like me to leave it on the porch one day for her to come and get it. We had a short conversation, typical hope all is well, texting conversation that was all of 2 messages each. Later that evening, my ex texted me. I don't have his number saved, and the message I received was thanking me for being so nice. Of course, I had no idea, so I asked who it was. When he replied explaining his sister had reached out to tell him I had the plaque and she was picking it up from me, I made the decision to not reply to him. When my husband asked what the random number was who messaged me, I proceeded to say nothing. But when he asked me again, I told him exactly what it said and that it all stemmed from my messaging my ex's sister. My husband is no longer speaking to me. He is extremely angry that I would reach out to anyone in my ex's family or even care to return any items of theirs. Am I the asshole for reaching out to them to return an item of value, even though it's my ex's family's? Or is my husband the asshole for making me feel like I'm in the wrong when I have never and will never respond to my ex?
The one part where you fucked up was saying it's no one. Like you
got to get ahead of those things.
No, I would be pissed if I was the husband, because then I'd feel like something shady's
You were
going on.
hiding
When you
something.
said it's no one and then you backpedaled and said, well, I texted my ex's sister. Like that would make me feel very insecure or like uncomfortable.
Transparency is everything in a relationship, especially regarding certain things that your partner could take out of context or might make them insecure. Like if this was me, I would throw it out. I'm not the type of person who would be like,
I know. I don't think you're in the wrong for that.
No, I don't think
all.
so either. But I'm just like the type of person where I'm just like, I don't care to return this shit. But if you do, I would have also probably said to my husband, hey, this is from my ex. I'm going to reach out to the sister.
So much easier to just like
get ahead
talk
of
all
it.
your shit out.
Yeah. As opposed to.
Though you do need a. Sorry. My
what
voice.
Was that? You're passionate.
You do need to check yourself too. Like, are you just reaching out to give this random fucking heirloom thing back?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to like open a line of communication?
Right. Because I think that's where I said that I wouldn't return it, because anytime that I've come across something that I know an ex's family would appreciate, I'm like, do I want to open this door? No. And what would my purpose be for really? Like, they obviously haven't needed it for years.
I'm more now thinking as the husband, I'm like, there's a two piece to this that makes me very, very uncomfortable. You not lying, but like not divulging the information at first. And then also just like, why even bring this up?
Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. You messaged her, your intentions, according to your question, were not bad. And so I think that you have to explain to your husband that that's all that it was. Let him look at your phone if you need him to.
What do you think, what's her response if he's like, why didn't you tell me who it was when I was?
I'd be like, because I didn't think about it. It was, but again,
not
couldn't be me.
Not a good enough answer. If
well,
I was
I don't know. I'm
like,
not her, so I can't get into her brain and be like, what would my response be? Because if this was me, it wouldn't be I wouldn't have this thing. I wouldn't care.
Okay.
Why do you hold on to things from your ex's family?
Don't try to flip this on me. I'm looking at your energy right now, your response.
I literally said I would yeet it in the garbage. So I don't know what you're trying to pin me for.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Best of luck.
Best of luck. Next question. What would you do if you were in a long-term relationship and found an ex on YouTube being an influencer? I've been dating my boyfriend for a few years, and I recently found this really funny podcast that has me in stitches. One problem, I dated one of the people. My boyfriend thinks it's super weird that I want to watch this podcast.
Is it me?
I was thinking that. And it makes him really uncomfortable. But it first started off as curiosity, trying to see what type of content he puts out with his partner, me. But now I can't seem to stop watching these videos as they are really, really funny. We all need some laughter in life. And I even invited my boyfriend to join me in tuning in, but he's not interested in even trying to listen. Am I in the wrong here? Okay, if this is about us, your boyfriend needs to get on board. Like, we're really great. I could talk with you
awesome
about the shit that John has probably put you through and he puts me through.
Well, she's obviously thinking about me in a certain way, so she's like,
okay,
I'm funny.
If this isn't...
I am a funny guy.
She's probably watching for me, John, because she's like, wow, I can't believe he snagged her. What type of juju did he swindle on her?
I'm just like going through my head and be like, what ex-girlfriend would listen to this podcast that doesn't hate me?
Can't think of any.
I can't think of a single person.
So let's go off of the basis that this isn't us.
I can't. It's me.
No, John, not everything's about you.
All right. So basically, whichever one of you lucky ladies out there is watching, what was the question? I wasn't even listening.
John's dick just got so hard thinking that he's still wanted
I'm
out there.
fully erect.
Now I'm mad at you. So she's watching. Her ex is a content creator.
Oh, yeah. You see, the guy doesn't like it.
Yeah. Her current boyfriend is like, why? I agree with that. It'd be like if you had an ex who was an influencer girl and you're like, Alex, she's really funny with her husband. I'd be like,
oh, so she's like telling him, like talking about it.
Yeah,
And
I'd be
stuff.
like, dude, I don't give a fuck.
Read the fucking room.
There's so many other content creators out there that you could consume their content. Like, I don't know.
Even if you are looking at their content, like read the room. Like obviously it's making your guy uncomfortable. Like don't talk about it.
Also, I feel like what were your intentions of looking at their content? I mean, you said curiosity because true. If like my ex-boyfriend had a podcast, I'd be like, oh my God, how much is he talking about me?
Don't fucking talk to me about it though. I'd be like, that's enough.
No, but
Listen to it on your own time.
I also would know internally, I'd be like, I would feel inappropriate watching my ex continuously. Like I just feel like it's almost like I don't want to say stalking them because like they're putting out their content, but it's it's like emotional cutting.
This is a good topic because I'm like, if you're ex is a content creator where it's their job to put out content, and if it's like engaging content and stuff like that, like what is your intentions compared to like an ex that you're just like stalking their like personal page?
Right.
If this is like a public page, like I can probably get more on board with
do
that.
Taylor Swift's exes listen to her music?
Sure, they're probably like, did she come out with a part 2 talking shit about me?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's kind of similar in that regard, but I don't, if your partner is uncomfortable with it, which rightfully so, like I know that I would feel very uncomfortable if you were engaging or like
Not engaging, just
not
listening.
engaging, but interested in your ex's content, because I'd be like, why? Like, why do you still want them to be part of your life? Because podcasts are very intimate where you do become friends with this person. You keep up with their daily life. I'd be like, why do you care so much what's going on in her life?
I guess.
If roles were reversed, you know? Think about me. Like if I was watching.
I'm almost thinking like I don't know if I would care that much.
Really?
As long as you weren't like obsessing over it. Like if it's because you love podcasts. Like if you're just putting your makeup on, listening to the podcast, like I get like you're invested in, it's like public content.
I think it would depend what the content was. If it was true crime or news or
if
whatever.
this dude's like thirst trapping or whatever, that's
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be a little more, I'd be like,
or
what
like
the fuck are you doing?
what type of content is it? Like
Yeah.
obviously like our content, you have to keep consuming it, but
I mean, that's true.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't think you're necessarily in the wrong, but I can understand why your boyfriend or your partner would feel uncomfortable.
You want to give me the username on that? No.
You gonna reconnect, John?
Just so everyone knows, it is anonymous.
Yeah, I don't know. I would feel uncomfortable. I think if you were continuously watching and keeping tabs on your influencer ex, I
think it depends on. I would like to know more information about it.
you're just hoping so bad that like your exes do watch that you're like, I wouldn't get annoyed.
Alex, stop it.
I wouldn't
Stop
get
it,
annoyed.
Alex.
Wouldn't bother me because I get it. I'm so strong.
Just like tweaked my neck.
Oh, I thought that you were just like
Ow, fuck.
doing some fancy move. Well, that's it, John. You want to go over some secrets?
Yeah.
Okay. Secret number 1. My best friend just told me she's getting divorced, and I couldn't be happier. I always hated her husband. Any of your friends ever get divorced that you were like, good?
Yeah.
Oh,
2 of them.
Really?
Yeah. Well, 1 pending. So 1 yes, 1 pending.
pending.
Mhm.
I don't think all my friends got married later, so none of them are in the divorce phase, but I am crossing my fingers for breakups of boyfriends.
So your friends were all like, well, you have friends
They're
that
all-
got married in their 20s, right?
Like late 20s, early 30s. Like I don't think anyone like what's the age of like the most divorces though? You know, like when do people most likely get divorced?
I'm not going to throw out a stat that I'm wrong, so I don't know.
Right. But I want to say probably statistically, you know what? I don't know either. I was going to say the younger you get married, you probably get divorced.
I
But
don't
who
know.
knows?
Who knows? What's the other secret?
The other secret is I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years now, and 2 weeks ago I peed in the bed for the first time in my life. That was never something that happened to me in childhood, so I was absolutely shocked. I was stressed from work, so I was tossing and turning, and I had a dream that I was peeing, so I just peed. I was so embarrassed. It was on one side of the bed. I wake up before him, so I just moved the covers to give it some air and prayed that he didn't roll over into it. I came home after going to the gym that morning, where we have a quick encounter before both going to work. I waited for him to say something, but he didn't. So I was like, hey, I'm going to wash the sheets. I definitely felt sweaty last night. And he was like, okay, cool. I'll switch them at lunch. And then nothing. So I just never told him. I rushed into the room and that shit was still absolutely soaked. I cannot believe he didn't roll into it or notice. This was the one day I was thankful he didn't make the bed and saves me for it.
You're so nice because Alex wouldn't wake up.
Yeah, no. Well, I only peed the bed when I was hammered. But it happened. I haven't peed the bed since I was like 26.
Alex pissed the bed and then got mad at me. I'm like trying to roll her to wake up. And I'm like, oh, she pissed the bed. And she's like, no, I didn't. Like fully, I'm like, your whole side is soaked. And then like my punishment, I cleaned all the sheets. It was like 2:30 in the morning.
Because I definitely fell back asleep, probably.
Fell back asleep.
There are people who just, doing it not drunk, my biggest fear.
This isn't a question, but I just wanted to say that one part.
Yeah, no, admitted that before, that I'm a drunk peer. I've peed on all the things.
But she's reformed now.
Not John, though. I've never peed on John.
She's reformed now. All right, we're going to dive into... Oh, wait, I got to do a review. Are we still doing overs? I'm overstimulated. Did I say that before?
Why are you overstimulated?
Well, like, now we're starting to wind down. Not really, just a little bit. The past, like, 2 weeks, but the past, like, 4 days have been fucking nuts. And, like, I feel like we're finally kind of catching up a little bit. But, like, even with the house, trying to get all the contractors together and all this stuff is just, like, so fucking hectic.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you move into a house, you do have to, someone has to handle the bills. It's not me. I just make sure that are you not paying attention? Do you want to look?
I am paying attention.
I just want to make sure that, like, we have decor and it looks pretty and we're doing it. So I'm overjoyed with the gallery wall that I made. Oh my gosh, it makes my eyeballs so happy.
That was a beautiful wall. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
I had a vision and I was like, I really want a gallery wall. And then I made one and I love it so much.
Just another talent that Alex has. I'm like, let's put this one frame in this random corner. Anyways.
You wouldn't put any frames up if it was just
God,
you.
I just don't care. I don't care.
I know, but that's what makes a house a home.
I would like something here
decor.
though.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to this room yet.
This room's gonna be like the last.
Your parents are coming to visit us soon. Can your dad help us?
What do you want?
Like, we should do something.
Okay, we'll do
we
something.
We should paint it.
All right.
What color? What color should we paint it? We can't. Green is my favorite color. We can't paint it green because then it'll blend in with our plants.
Why'd you say? We can't paint it green.
What color do we paint it?
Guys, review. The best. 5 stars. Rach Lutz. I've loved you guys for a while. I found your podcast a few months ago and have absolutely loved it and started listening to all your old ones. On your latest podcast episode, Alex stated that they're getting comments from people who don't like the direction of content you're producing now that you're pregnant. Just know that there are people out there that love you even now that you are! ! Don't listen to the jerks out there and just keep making us laugh. I can't wait to see your content once the little one arrives. Love you guys. You're the best.
Oh, thank you. Don't listen to the jerks.
Haters gonna hate.
I'm gonna put that on a mug and another merch shirt one day. We have like all this fake merch that we talk about.
Again, I'm too lazy to do it. Guys, like, subscribe, email, comment. We love you. Give me all the reviews, baby.
If you want to reach us, you could email us at hello@giveittomestraightpodcast.com. You could submit your anonymous questions to the link in our show notes or in our bio. And you can follow us at Give It To Me Straight Podcast at all the socials. And we will see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.